Youqing and Wang Lianfang. The matter between Youqing and Wang Lianfang is not as rumored outside. In fact, they are fine. It was in the winter of 1970 that Wang Lianfang officially climbed into Youqing. It didn't take long. To elaborate, Youqing met Wang Lianfang at the intersection not long after her confinement. Wang Lianfang was very kind, and his eyes were even kind. But Youqing only glanced at him and immediately saw what Wang Lianfang was thinking. A man with job position likes this, using a friendly smile to show that he wants to have sex. Youqing had the best experience in dealing with such men. She smiled sheepishly at Wang Lianfang, knowing that it was only a matter of time before she sleep with him, and nothing could stop him. Youqing was not too nervous, but had made plans in advance. No matter what, this time she must get pregnant with Youqing first, and give birth to the child for Youqing first. This is a basic principle. Another thing she must not forget is that since it is a matter of time, it is better to be one step later than earlier. Men are all thieves. The easier it is to get in, the faster they can leave. Youqing has learned lessons on this issue, and historical experience cannot be forgotten. But Wang Lianfang was in a hurry. Youqing knows Wang Lianfang for a short period of time, but she has already felt this. He was looking for and creating opportunities to meet her alone. No matter what, Wang Lianfang still shouldn't be too rash in front of outsiders. Cats know to wait until dark, and dogs know to look for corners. When Wang Lianfang wandered into the courtyard of her house, Youqing was very enthusiastic, and her voice sounded like a curtain call. She would go to next door to ask for boiling water and loudly say, "Party Secretary Wang is here to see us." Wang Lianfang was very annoyed, but you can be angry with other people's enthusiasm. You can only be friendly and smile. Youqing is generous and does everything in the open. This is very different from a woman who is timid and cautious at all times, and it is difficult for you to make a move. You can't climb up and press the hen's head like a rooster. Wang Lianfang broke the words to her once and said, "Youqing is an idiot. What day will I enjoy the blessing of being an idiot like Youqing?" Youqing was threatened and even a bit willing, but Youqing pretended to be careless, and her voices were still so loud, which made Wang Lianfang fearful. However, Youqing was very careful and would never let Wang Lianfang despair her. If Wang Lianfang despairs you, you will definitely be more desperate than him in the end. Youqing knows herself, lazy. Lazy people must have a backer. Without a backer, they can only wait to die. At that time, the production team leader had already distributed the fertilization to Youqing. Fertilization is a dirty and tiring job with low scores. The production team leader assigned Youqing like this, obviously to give her a peace of mind. Youqing carried a rake and walked into the fields among the men, talking and laughing all the way. Wang Lianfang walked towards them. They greeted each other. After walking out for about 10 steps, Youqing turned around and came to Wang Lianfang. She brushed off the handruff on Wang Lianfang's collar and then pulled off a piece of thread. Youqing didn't use her hands, but leaned forward, bit it with her teeth, bit it off, tied it into a knot with the tip of her tongue, and spit it out in a playful way. Youqing whispered, "You, not like a branch secretary at all. Go for the lights for me." Youqing dropped this sentence without a clue. Wang Lianfang was so distracted that his eyes were filled with happiness. Of course, Youqing did not join the men to fertilize. She just stood at the edge of the field for a while, took off the green plaid scarf from her head, held it in her hand, and said, "No," and that she had to go back first. Youqing carried her rake and headed home in front of the captain. The buttlogs were twisting and turning like the two rear wheels of a tractor. No one dared to stop her. Who knows what know of her? Who knows what she goes back first for? By the winter of 1970, Youqing had completely given up on herself. There was no way she could get pregnant again. Youqing seemed to have also given up trying. He wasn't able to come up with any result. Out of anger, Youqing went to the Water Conservancy construction site. Wang Lianfang came at noon. Youqing had just cried and thinking about her life. She slowly became sad. She didn't know where she went wrong or how she ended up like this. Youqing used to be a very energetic girl who was in the limelight and always wanted to be strong, but now she is unwilling to give in, and everything is unsatisfactory. The more she thinks about it, the more hopeless she feels. Wang Lianfang came in, put his hands behind his back, and closed the door behind him. The person was standing there, but it seemed that he had already gone to bed. Youqing was not surprised. She stood up and thought to herself that it was not easy for him. He had no shortage of women. He had been thinking about her for so long and had some affection for her. It was hard for him. Besides, as a man, he is still the most pleasing to the eye in Wang village. His clothes and shoes are of good quality. Every word he speaks comes to mind. His teeth are so clean, he must be brushing them every day. When Youqing thought of this, her shoulders relaxed and she looked at Wang Lianfang with a very sad expression. Her tears overflowed silently. Youqing slowly turned around, walked into the room, turned sideways, and slowly moved her buttocks to the edge of the bed, pressed down her head, stretched her neck, and unbuttoned one by one. After unbuttoning, Youqing raised her head and said, "Come up." After all, Youqing was still Youqing. She had seen the world and was not afraid of Wang Lianfang. Just because of this, she overpowers other women in bed. The biggest characteristic of Wang Lianfang is that everyone is afraid of him. He likes people to be afraid of him, not in words, but in their hearts. If you can't swallow it, Wang Lianfang has Wang Lianfang's solution until you're really scared. But the scary side effects showed up in bed. Those women went to bed either sifting or laying like dead fish, not daring to move, with their arms and legs tightly tucked in, as if Wang Lianfang was a pig butcher, very tasteless. He didn't expect that Youqing was not afraid. The key is that Youqing also liked the thing in bed. As soon as Youqing went to bed and showed her subjective initiative, if she wanted wind, it would be windy, and if she wanted rain, it would be rainy. She dared to do actions that no one dared to do, and she could say things that no one dared to say. The whole process was earth-shattering. After finishing it, she lay there on her side and shed tears quietly for a while, which was particularly endearing and appetizing. These are all unique. Wang Lianfang immediately fell in love with this piece of meat. Wang Lianfang's appetite was whetted, and he was addicted.